Sports, a place where many athletes find success.
This is likely the final play that matters. End zone wide open. What a night for Mike Williams.
But where there's a winner, there has to be a loser.
He came a long way. You hear me? Come here, I love you, bro. Real.
It's one thing to watch the game, but another to analyze it. Let's talk about the numbers. You ready? YouTube! What's going on, man? Back at it again with another video. It's your boy, Numbers Fan Jay. And today we're going to talk about the AFC East. But before I get into that topic, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you're new, welcome to my channel. I'm Numbers Fan Jay. I'm here every Monday and or Thursday. We talk about NFL football, NBA basketball, and the NCAA Men's March Madness Tournament. Now, a little bit of news before we get into the topic. The NFL is voting on a pandemic playoff contingency plan coming up Tuesday. Of course, the players are worried about how things are gonna be, scheduled out. Everything's gonna be worked out in the playoffs with COVID still being somewhat of a problem right now. Last thing you would want is for your playoff team to be ready to play a game and your quarterback is out due to COVID, or your star receiver is out due to COVID. Now they can't play. Or now the game has to be moved back because the facility's been shut down. It has to be moved back a couple days. They're gonna work on something to where hopefully that never has to be the case. Hopefully we get to the playoffs and COVID is pretty much almost completely done away with. We found a cure and all that stuff. Hopefully that's what we're hoping, but that just in case plan has to be put in place. So good job by the NFLPA and the NFL owners getting together, scheduling this meeting that needs to be had. So getting more into the actual topic for this video, which is the NFC East. Checking in on the NFC East, letting you guys know how these four teams are panning out. About halfway through the season, everybody's in a whole different spot. Everybody's in a whole different spot than they were 4 weeks ago, and especially 8 weeks ago. So let's check in on these teams. Starting at the bottom with the New York Giants. The New York Giants are 2-7 right now. They just beat the Washington football team 23-20 this past week. This team is number 6 versus the run. That is a bright spot. They are 25th versus the pass, though. We all know you have to have some type of pass defense if you're wanting to make the playoffs and go deep into the playoffs. Offensively, they are 29th in passing, 21st in rushing, and 31st in points per game. I don't think this team is going anywhere anytime soon. They're going to keep fighting, of course, because they're only a game, like 2.5 games behind for the division lead right now. So this poor division they're in, they're going to continue to play their hearts out week in and week out. Now, they aren't going anywhere. I don't believe this team will win the division at all. I don't think they'll get close to winning the division. But like I said, they will keep fighting. They will keep fighting. So that's the Giants. On to the Dallas Cowboys, who are now 2-7. They're coming off a 24-19 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are now 8-0. Now, a lot of people had this team getting blown out against the Steelers, including myself. I didn't think it was going to even be close, but they put up a great fight with a 4th-string quarterback, 3rd-string quarterback? I don't even know at this point. They're so far down the depth chart. There's no Dak Prescott, of course, out for the season. Andy Dalton out. And their other quarterback that was supposed to be playing, he's out. So it's just like, how much further can you go? But the Cowboys are 2-7. They have the coach with the best resume, but he hasn't lived up to expectations. With all this talent that he has on this team is still 2-7. This team is still 2-7. Like I said, the quarterback injuries are just piling up, and I don't know how many other people can play quarterback for the Cowboys this year. I don't know. They have the worst defense in the NFL right now. second to last. Actually, no, they are last. They're last in points allowed in the entire NFL. So, yeah, that's some Cowboys for you this year. Don't really have any hope. That was their Super Bowl pretty much against the Steelers. It's just no hope for them. Even though they are third in the division right now, not too far behind the Eagles or the Washington football team, but they just haven't shown to be a disciplined football team. And they haven't played well. Just straight up, they have not played well. And to have, like I said, to have all this talent that they do have on both sides of the ball, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, on the other side of the ball, of course, not lacking in the pass rushing department as far as pass rushers. It's kind of weird. It's just weird to see. You got a coach that's won a Super Bowl and you got a bunch of talent on both sides, but you don't win games. Anyway, we're gonna leave that right there. Washington football team, 2-6, coming off a loss against the Giants, 2023. They just had another quarterback injury themselves, so this is another team that's been plagued by injuries. The bottom three teams in this division have been plagued by injuries this year. But the good news for the Washington football team is that Alex Smith has been named the starting quarterback. And if you know me, you know that I'm a fan of Alex Smith, and I've been wanting him to get back on the field. And I actually wanted him to be our quarterback, my Chargers quarterback, before we drafted Justin Herbert. And of course, after we drafted him, I knew we weren't going to go after another quarterback. That wouldn't make sense. But anyway, that is a bright spot. Alex Smith, a great comeback story there. He had a very gruesome leg injury. And I know seeing that on the sideline, seeing seeing Kyle Allen get injured in a similar type of way, a lower leg injury like he had, it had to kind of bring back some bad flashbacks for him there. But Washington does have the best defense in this division, right? They're 11th in points allowed. They're number 1 in the NFL versus the pass, 23 versus the run. So they do have some problems to figure out against the run, but against the pass, there's no better defense in the NFL right now. This defense is also number 4 in sacks. So there are some bright spots for the Washington football team, but I don't think that they're going to end up winning the division. We will see. Alex Smith has been the guy for them. Like when he was playing, when he was starting for them before he got hurt, he had this team in the lead in their division. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of juice he gives them offensively. Going on to the Eagles, who are at the top of the division right now, still under 500, as we talked about when they played the Cowboys a couple weeks ago. Won that game, got to the top of the division, but they're still below 500. So this whole division is below 500 for another week. Eagles had a bye week. They couldn't really change that. But going into depth about the Eagles, they have the best quarterback in this division. I do not think this team is a contender. I don't think they're a contender, and I'll tell you why. They are 27th in passing. Now, I just told you that they have the best quarterback in the division. They are 27th in passing. That's what the best quarterback in this division gives you. That's asinine. Like, how is that possible? They're 24th in points per game. Best quarterback in the division now, at this point. Especially with Dak being hurt. I think that's not a very risky thing to make, risky case to make for Wentz being the best quarterback in the division right now. They are the most sacked team in the NFL. That is very alarming. The most sacked team in the NFL. Nobody gets hit more than Carson Wentz does. Now, I've seen a lot of people blame quarterbacks' turnovers on the offensive line. I will say this. Receivers do drop the ball, and there are certain interceptions that go through receivers' hands, or maybe the receiver tries to do too much, gets the ball popped up in the air. Maybe the ball gets deflected at the line of scrimmage. A bunch of different things can happen that could end up having an interception on the stat sheet. But with Carson Wentz, there is just something, I don't know. There's something about him throwing the ball to the other team that doesn't sit well with me. It just doesn't. And like I said, I'm just waiting on Jalen Hurts to get this starting job, because I believe when that happens, they can really take control, take a stranglehold on this division, and really take over in the NFC East. But until then, they're going to be barely getting by with Carson Wentz. And I think it's going to take a full offseason, full training camp, full preseason for Jalen Hurts to earn that job, looking at the way the division is turning out this year. But they are number 4 versus the pass on defense, and they are 3rd in sacks defensively as well. So this defense is not great. Don't get those stats mixed up. This defense is not great, but they are serviceable. They will get the job done. They won't get a whole bunch of points put up on them, but they're not the type of defense that's going to shut you out. That's going to hold you to just 7 or 10 points all game. They will give up big plays. They will get scored on. So that's what I have for you for the NFC East for today. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. What do you guys think about the NFC East so far? Do you think the Cowboys still somehow have a chance to win the division? Do you feel like the Eagles will go to Jalen Hurts at some point, even though they're in the lead for the division title at this point in the season? Do you believe that Alex Smith has a chance to win the division? Let me know what y'all think in the comments below, man. It's your boy Jay. We out of here.